Welcome to Maritime Pakistan, your gateway to the fascinating world of oceans and the opportunities they present to every one of us. Our goal is to explore the shared heritage of the seas and oceans to achieve global prosperity. Today's discussion explores the book The Sea in History, the Ancient World. Our discussion will focus on the sixth chapter, the importance of the sea for prehistoric societies in Western Europe.
Okay, let's dive into how the Atlantic Ocean literally shaped prehistoric societies in Europe. Now, to really get our heads around this ancient world, you kind of have to forget everything you know about modern maps, all the roads, all the borders, and instead think about what connected people thousands and thousands of years ago. And that connector, that highway, was the sea. It was this huge network of currents and coastlines. Think of it less as a barrier and more like a bustling superhighway for trade, for ideas, and for people. This Atlantic facade, stretching all the way from modern-day Portugal up to Scotland, was basically the central artery of their entire world.
But you might be asking, why the Atlantic? What was so special about it? I mean, why did it become the cradle for this whole maritime culture and not some other body of water? Well, the answer really comes down to a unique mix of biology and geology.
And wow, when you look at the comparison here, it's a night and day difference. The Atlantic, all churned up and warmed by the Gulf Stream, was just this engine of life. Its waters were packed with nutrients, supporting a massive food chain. We're talking tons of fish, mollusks, seabirds. For the people living on the coast, it was like a reliable, overflowing pantry. And, geography itself played this huge part. After the last ice age, the sea levels rose and flooded these old river valleys, creating what we call rias. You can still see them today in places like Brittany and Ireland. They basically formed perfect, ready-made natural harbors, deep, sheltered, and making that dangerous open ocean way more accessible.
Okay, so you've got this ocean just brimming with possibilities, right? But to actually grab those opportunities, you need technology. People needed boats that could not just survive the waves, but actually master them. And their journey of innovation, well, it was a long and really sophisticated one. And this timeline, well, it just lays out that long history so clearly. We can see how boat technology evolved from these simple log boats almost 10,000 years ago to skin boats and eventually to these incredibly complex plank-built ships that could truly command the seas. So where do you start? Well, with the basics, the log boat. Using the tools they had back then, we're talking stone axes and carefully controlled fire, people hollowed out these massive tree trunks. It's simple, sure, but this technology was incredibly effective and lasted for millennia, letting people travel along the coasts and up rivers. But the real game changer for hitting the open ocean, that was probably the skin boat. Think about it. Animal hides stretched over a light wooden frame. These things were unbelievably buoyant and flexible, which made them just perfect for riding the heavy, rolling swells of the Atlantic. And get this, it's not just guesswork. We actually have historical accounts that seem to back this up. Roman-era writers, who were probably quoting even older sources, described the Celtic peoples of the Atlantic as being masters of these leather ships, totally capable of crossing the vast salt water. And then everything changed. Bronze tools show up on the scene around 2300 BC, and it is a total revolution for shipbuilding. Suddenly, you have sharp adzes, chisels, and gouges that let carpenters work wood with incredible precision. It just opened the door for much more complex and sturdy designs. I mean, this revolution led to absolutely incredible vessels like the Dover boat found over in England. This ship from around 1550 BC was built from massive oak planks that were skillfully sewn together with twisted yew branches. It is a genuine marvel of prehistoric engineering. So you see, the point here is that these amazing boats weren't just for, catching fish or getting from one village to the next. They were the key. They were what unlocked the entire next stage of human development, allowing for the movement of not just people and goods, but of culture and ideas. And this is where it gets really fascinating. These boats turned the ocean into a highway, not just for people or goods, but for something way more powerful. They carried ideas. And the evidence for this is, well, it's quite literally set in stone. Just take a look at this map. It's showing the spread of this really complex belief system, the passage grave. And what do you notice? It's not spreading over land. Nope. It's hugging the coast, following the sea lanes, from Iberia up to Brittany, and then across to Ireland and Scotland.
And we're not just talking about piling up a few rocks here. This was a whole cultural package deal that got transferred over thousands of kilometers. It included shared beliefs about death and the afterlife, a very specific artistic style, and even a sophisticated knowledge of cosmology. These tombs were often aligned perfectly with the solstices.
So you've got these incredible networks already in place for sharing beliefs. They're tried and tested, and now they're about to get supercharged by the next big thing, the quest for metal, which would define the entire Bronze Age. Yeah, those exact same sea routes that carried ideas about the afterlife were now buzzing with the secrets of metallurgy. Copper technology, which started in Iberia, traveled north. Prospectors shared their knowledge, which led to mining copper in Ireland and, crucially, tin in Cornwall. Put them together, you get bronze, and just like that, you forged a connected, international Bronze Age world.
Okay, so let's just step back for a second. We've got thousands of years of all this complex interaction, the sharing of technology, of culture, of these deep belief systems. All this incredible connectivity brings up a really, really important question. How on earth do they all talk to each other? You can't share super detailed knowledge, like how to build a tomb that's perfectly aligned with the winter solstice, or the exact process for smelting copper ore, without some kind of shared language, right? You'd need a lingua franca that worked all the way up and down the Atlantic coast. And this is what it all builds to. This is the author's big, powerful idea, that this Atlantic sea zone wasn't just a trade route. It was the actual crucible, the birthplace, where the Celtic language itself was forged, not spread by armies on land, but by sailors, traders, and thinkers, communicating across the waves for thousands of years. So let's just leave it with this one final, pretty mind-blowing thought. The most enduring legacy of these ancient mariners might not be their stone monuments or their metal tools, but the very language spoken by millions of people today, a language that may have been born from the sea. We hope that you liked today's video. Please share your comments and subscribe to explore other similar opportunities. Post your questions in the comment section for future videos.